Hey guys, what's up? It's Gibson here, and today I'm going to talk about gems and trying to get as much damage as you can on your classes. I'm doing this for a couple of people I've seen questioning about damage and how to get as much damage as you can, and whether or not how much health to have on a character compared to damage. And this is a big factor depending on what you're using your character for. See, I use my Ice Age here for Shadow Towers, so I have perfect damage, so my gem ratio is perfect. I can go over that in a more advanced video if you would like. But there's a few very important key factors when it comes to trying to get as much damage as you can. The first one is your weapon. You might not think this is as big as it is, but for example, my Crystal 3 staff gives me alone 10,000 damage, which is actually pretty big. Your ring gives you a nice amount of damage, a nice solid chunk. Just in general, your gear alone, these three pieces here, will be very crucial to some of your DPS. Because depending on the levels and the rarity of your gear, will change the amount of DPS you get. Your subclass also plays a big part in damage. Most people ask me the best subclasses for most characters. 9 times out of 10 the answer is going to be Lunar Lancer subclass, due to the attack speed bonus and the increased damage bonus. Most people ask me, why do you use a Lunar Lancer on a magic damage character when it gives you plus 750 physical? So the point behind this is, once your lunacy activates, you go into a giant form, you get bigger like the Lunar Lancer does, and that will increase your damage no matter what. I'm not quite sure on the numbers of the damage increase, but it is a fairly large increase. You definitely notice it in your DPS. Next one is your emblems. Your emblems, such as Arcane, gives you 250% damage. And then, for example, when I use speedruns, I use the Evil Eye emblem. This will spawn a temporary damage dealing ally, which will shoot the boss. I then use Vial of Minion Multiplication during speedruns, so I spawn 2 Evil Eye emblems. And this is how I get the most damage. On the Ice Age, you want to use the cabbage food. This will increase your damage even more. The attack speed food is, you want to use the attack speed food on characters more like the Gunslinger, where you don't cap your damage, cap your attack speed. That is where you mostly want to use that. Right, and now allies. Allies also can give you a nice amount of damage. So, for example, the best ally in the game for a magic damage character is the Water Primordial Dragon Pup. Due to the fact that it's technically a dragon ally, it also has a chance to blast enemies with fire, which is very, very nice in speedruns, and putting out as much damage as you can in a short amount of time. The next big thing is your gems. All of your gems want to have the character's preferred damage stat, so magic damage or physical damage. You want critical hit and critical damage at a low level. At a low level, you want all of your gems with as much damage as possible. Because I've been having a lot of questions about survivability. Survivability will come over time. As long as you have the damage and you kill stuff before it kills you, you don't need survivability. As a lot of people say, offense is the best defense. So for example, all of my gems have these 3 stats beside one gem. I'll talk about one in a minute. So if you go into a gem forge and you click on a gem, it shows you all 3 stats. If you look at my magic damage, it has 3 dots or squares, or what are they, pentagons? They have pentagons above them. That represents the bonuses that gem obtained at level 5, level 10 and level 15. These are your gem rolls. I can go over them in another video, because every character has certain rolls for certain gems to get the best ratio to optimize DPS. So if we look through all my gems, they all have their rolls on specific stats. So this one has no crit hit rolls. So you want to make sure none of your gems have a square in crit hit. 7.7 is the absolute maximum amount of critical hit you want per gem. Anything more than that is going to put you way over the maximum critical hit. So my maximum critical hit is a 101%, and that's even with, on my class gem, I have maximum health percent, because max health percent scales better with maximum health percent will scale better with your mastery. So mastery is another great thing for damage, because if you look here, per mastery level is 0.15% damage. At my mastery level, that's going to be about like 95% more damage, roughly, just a rough estimate. There's also, it gives you health, max health percent. So the more HP you have, so because this is my Shadow character class, this for survivability inside of Shadow Towers, I run maximum health percent on my hat instead of something like Magic Find or Jump, because that isn't relevant to me inside of a Shadow Tower. For more survivability, I also prefer to use the Vampirian Vanquisher. This is probably the best gem to have in this slot, in my opinion. This gem gives you so much survivability, where I hear people saying Berserk Battler is key, it's amazing. Yeah, it's good, but there's no point in having more attack speed if you can't stay alive to push out the extra damage. But then again, on these gems, on my magic character, I don't have any kind of rolls in light. Light is irrelevant when you're inside of Shadow Towers, so I have magic damage, magic damage there, and then this gem lets me go to it. I have critical damage, magic damage. And that is basically all you really need to know when it comes to dealing as much damage as possible. It's your gear is very important, so your weapon, face, and ring. Your subclass is very important, so Lunar Lancer. But if you don't want to use Lunar Lancer, the other very good one for characters like Dracolite is Ice Sage. Getting a barrier which negates damage and reflects is very important inside of a speedrun. Other than that, all these other subclasses, yeah, never use them. The only ones I use is Pirate Captain when I'm farming on, say, my Neo Ninja. I've got Knight on it at the minute, I don't know why. I think that's because I was running and helping people. I usually use Pirate Captain for the Magic Wand. But yeah, that is a basic guide on how to build as much damage as possible. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a comment if it's helped you, or if you want to, leave a comment on what you want me to show you next. So thanks, bye.